Okay, hi. So I'm back in the park that I was in on my first video around the town, and you see a little dam here with the water coming into town, creating one of those canals. And then across the way here, my wife is showing you the Russian cemetery, or the Soviet cemetery. This is one of the remnants of... Oh, I'm falling off the stuff here. All right, watch my step. So this is the remnants of communism in Poland, where Soviet soldiers are buried. These are the soldiers who liberated the city from the Germans in World War II. And we'll go through here and I'll show you some of the... They still have some of the guns that they had here as a commemoration of the soldiers, and you'll see some of the symbols of the Soviet period. All right. Here's one of the gravestones. This is this side of the cemetery is for regular soldiers. Who, you know, the officers are on the other side, and they have pictures next to them and stuff. You can see this is where the Soviet soldiers are buried who liberated the city from the Germans. And then over here there's a monument, and you can see there's some guns here around the monument, artillery. And a big nice monument. I don't know if you can see at the top there, there's the Red Star, and you saw it on the gravestones there. We'll go to the other side of the cemetery. In the background you can see the back of the theater that I was at in the first video as well. So here's the officers. This is a major, if you know your Russian there, and a captain, and then some of the officers here. There's another gun, and then a whole row of officers along here. These are mostly lieutenants, first lieutenants, second lieutenants, or the equivalent, you know, in Russian. So that's the Russian cemetery. So this is one of the many churches in the town I live in, St. Joseph's, and this is one of the older churches in town. This was built in the mid-1300s, and it's a pretty famous church in the region. It has some important relics inside for the Catholic Church and St. Joseph's. So we'll go a little behind the church here and I'll show you something there. So this is part of the wall that used to be around the city that dates back to the medieval period. So this is a wall from the Middle Ages, and this is the Bashta Dorotka, which is one of the towers from around the wall that survives still. There's kind of a legend about that. There, in the past, there's a noble girl. Asha, could you take? No. There, I'll let her do that. I think that'll be easier. So there's the legend about that is that there's a girl called Dorota, and she was a daughter of a nobleman, and she disobeyed him, and he got really angry with her. You know, nobody knows exactly sure what happened, but he was really angry, so he decided to bury her alive inside the tower, and of course she died. And the legend goes that today you can sometimes still see her crying, or you can hear her. Sorry, not see her. My wife is correcting me here. So you can hear her crying inside the tower. So that's a little legend about that tower. And this is the wall. This is right behind the St. Joseph's Church that I was just showing you. And we'll go somewhere else now. Okay? Right here is the base of, or the remains of what used to be the wall that went around the castle that was in the old town here. The castle doesn't exist anymore except for these little ruins here. And in the background there's a high school that's built on top of it. This goes back to the Middle Ages, to the 1400s. So this is the old part of town right now. And right across the street here, there's this building. The building on the corner there, and that's that before World War I, that was a Russian Orthodox church. But after World War I, because before World War I, this part of Poland belonged to the Russian Empire. When Poland was divided up among the Germans, the Russians, and the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. And then after World War I, when Poland liberated itself and became a country again, the people tore down this church, and so it doesn't exist any longer. But right now it's in the bottom there, it's an Empik, which is a store, multimedia store. You can buy books and computer stuff and DVDs, movies, same thing, but all that kind of stuff. Actually, Empik is all over Poland. Wherever you go in Poland, you're going to find that chain of stores. It's a good place to shop. You can find some stuff. All right, so this is the front of the high school that I was just showing you there. And there's about 5 main high schools in the town, and then there's a bunch of different technical high schools, because in Poland they have a different paths that you can take in high school. You don't have to go to just a regular high school, but you can go to kind of a technical school. But anyway, this is one of the 5 main high schools, and pretty famous one actually. Some famous people went here. I won't say any of them because they're famous here, but I don't think most people have heard of them. But the interesting thing I wanted to say about the high school here is that during World War II, this is where the Gestapo had their headquarters. So that's kind of an interesting little fact. You didn't want to be here during World War II because you were in trouble. Alright, so here we are walking down the main street. Actually, my wife is doing some window shopping. So I'll stop there and let her catch up, and we're just walking down the street to the main part of town, to the center of town. So I'll stop there and pick you up in the middle of town. So this is the center of town. You can see the town hall there, and all the different restaurants and shops around the center of town. Those people there over on the corner are sitting at a nice restaurant. That's a good place to get some good food. But yeah, so we're in the center of town, and we're just walking around and enjoying the good weather and showing you around the old town. That's the town hall right there behind me, and we'll go over here and show you some other stuff. And right over here, this is like a little stage that they have in the center of town, that you can come and, you know, famous people come to speak, or the mayor or something gives a speech. He's usually standing up there and doing something. Actually, one time we had a guest teacher for drama that came from Germany, and he was doing some exercises with my drama club, and I was participating as a student then in the club, and he had us do these exercises at school, and then we walked to the center of town one day, and he said, okay, let's do it right here, right now. So we just had to stand up on the stage and just start doing our scenes as people were walking past and stuff. So it was a good exercise in just concentrating and not worrying about, you know, what people are doing, and also trying to draw the attention of the people. So by the end of the little performance, our improvised performance, we had a little audience standing around looking at us, wondering what we were doing. Kind of like what people are doing right now to me. But that's one of the reasons I don't really care, because I did stuff like that. So that was fun. Oh, and our church did a little play here one time for an outreach in town. We did a little performance, and I was an angel in that performance. Maybe I'll put a picture of that here if I remember, so remind me if I don't. So there's the Franciscan church behind me. It's one of the older churches in town, and that's another church. I'll show you some more churches in other videos. This is the other side of the Franciscan church, and it's also a monastery, I forgot to mention. So that's the other side of that. And then here's one of the canals that goes through the city, and a bridge, and the building across the canal there, that's the courthouse in town. And then right over here, that building, maybe I'll get a picture when we get closer to it, that's the Pałac Ślubów, or the wedding palace. That's where you go to have your civil weddings and get all the paperwork for your wedding, and there's other offices in there too for various paperwork that you need to live. So this is a very pretty area. Actually, this building over here, there's a really great pizza place in there that we go to sometimes. Not just pizza, but spaghetti and different Italian food. Alright, so we're just on the Aleja Wolności, which is Freedom Avenue, and I think we'll head home now, and just hope you enjoyed this little around the town, seeing some sights. It was fun doing it, beautiful weather, wonderful people to walk with, wonderful person to walk with, and talk to you later. Have a great day.